Good, beautiful pre-Derby morning, everyone, from the Turf Mutt Foundation Great Lawn here at Waterfront Park that is back open just over a week after it was submerged in historic floods. And that is where we're going to start with this amazing cleanup effort that the city has seen take place over the past week and a couple of days to recover back from the 8th largest flood in our city's history. What a difference a week makes. There's still definitely work ahead. There's turf to repair. There's mulch that needs to be in place. Mother Nature needs a little bit more time for the north part of the Great Lawn here. We also need to get power restored in a couple of small areas. But when you consider the extent of the damage that this park, that parks along the river, that our roadways faced just over a week ago, it is amazing where we are today. And most importantly, Waterfront Park right here is ready for the festival, is ready for the Kentucky Derby Festival events to take place in just a day or two. And my understanding, Matt can confirm this, is that we only have about 10 feet of this park that we were not able to use for the Kentucky Derby Festival that starts in just a day or so. So I'm very pleased with that we are back in action here at Waterfront Park and all around our entire city, not just in time for the Kentucky Derby, but in time for all of the amazing Kentucky Derby Festival events. Last time that the flood this level took place, it took our city about 6 weeks to recover. This time, we did it in just over a week, and that's because of the amazing work of so many people across Louisville Metro government, volunteers, contractors, and others that took part in it. And thanks to the smooth and steady progress that we've made over the past week, we've been decreasing the number of contracted crews that are doing their work since Saturday. All of the roads that have been impacted by the floods are cleared and open. Our street lights are back on. Water trucks were out yesterday doing some final washing. And while there's a little bit more cleanup here and there at a couple of parks, and really all of our parks are back open. Waterfront Park, as we talked about here, Farnsley Mormon, the Riverside Boat Ramp, Louisville Loop is back open, Greenwood Road Boat Ramp, Champions Park, Portland Wharf Park, Hayes Kennedy, Cox's Park should be finished by the end of today if it's not already finished, and Shawnee Park also should be finished by the end of today as well. That is amazing work in just over a week's time, and I cannot thank everyone who helped make this record flood cleanup possible. I cannot thank them enough. So that was phase 1 and 2 that we got done in record time. There is a phase 3 of the cleanup, and that phase 3 we need the community's help for. It's the final phase to help pick up debris from property owners that have been impacted by the floods on their private property. Last Friday, our storm and flood debris self-reporting form went live. And so if you or someone that you know has been impacted by the recent floods or the tornadoes, we want you to let us at Louisville Metro government know as soon as possible, particularly if you need curbside debris pickup. This is the best way to dispose of your storm debris safely and legally. So anyone can go to louisvilleky.gov, and there's a banner at the top of the page that says Storm and Flood Debris Cleanup. We want people to give us their information, and our public works crews will be out to pick up any storm debris that is on private property. We also want people to let us know if they've discovered new potholes that have come up as a result of the flood. We want to fix those as quickly as possible as well. To do that, the best way is call Metro 311. Just dial 311 to report a pothole or any other road issue that you're having. So many people, as I've mentioned, have helped step up to make this a reality. Folks from inside of Metro government, volunteers, contracted crew as well. It has been a citywide effort to make this happen. There's one person, however, who I want to single out and thank this morning. Someone who has gone above and beyond. A Louisville Metro government employee that has been with this cleanup effort since before it even started. Getting ready, been working from sun up till sundown herself every day. and that is our amazing colleague in Emergency Management Services, Amy Rose. So if everyone can join me, Amy, thank you so much for leading this effort. We are so appreciative, and I want to give you this proclamation honoring your great work and the great work of so many others. Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you.
And one final thing before we change topics. I know that this flood, and based on some of the work that the Louisville Water Company is doing, has significantly impacted some of our great businesses and restaurants and bars up and down along River Road. I want to encourage the entire community. During this time of Derby celebration and going out and enjoying time with friends after Derby over the summer, I want to encourage people to support our local businesses along River Road. Help them enjoy their cuisine, enjoy their hospitality, enjoy the beautiful wonders of the Ohio River and all of the restaurants that are up and down River Road. They need our help right now. I know Rachel and I are looking forward to get out to some of them, and I want to encourage everyone else to do the same to support our local businesses on River Road. All right, so now that we are wrapping up our cleanup work, it's time to turn our attention to these great couple of weeks in Louisville every year and the Kentucky Derby Festival. People have already started coming in from all over the city, the state, the country, the world to experience the amazing hospitality that Louisville has to offer in the run-up to the greatest 2 minutes in sports. I'm more excited than ever. I just started watching the new Netflix show, Race to the Crown, on the treadmill this morning to get me ready for the mini marathon this Saturday and to get me as hyped as possible for the Kentucky Derby 151. There is so much, though, to be excited about. As I mentioned, I'm excited about the mini marathon. Maybe I'm fearful of it, but I'm wearing my running shoes to get ready for Saturday. Last week we had the They're Off luncheon. There is so much. The block party already happened this weekend. The Tour de Lou was a great success this weekend. The Kentucky Derby Festival is already in full stream ahead. So to give a preview of what's coming up over the next couple of weeks, I'd like to now introduce the CEO of the Kentucky Derby Festival, who along with his team also works sun up to sundown, getting ready for the festival, enjoying it. Matt Gibson. Matt?
Thank you, Mayor. And we know he's well underway in his training. We see him all the time. And I threw a joke last week thinking that he runs everywhere because you see him everywhere. And he did confirm that he did, in fact, run down to check on the cleanup here. And enough cannot be said about the work of Amy and her team overseeing all of the contractors, how often the mayor was down here making sure that not only this area for the use of the Kentucky Derby Festival so that we make sure that we bring these events to the community like originally planned, but he was everywhere in this community making certain that was happening. So a huge shout out to you for certain. But what a difference a couple weeks makes when you really look at when the cleanup started less than 2 weeks ago. I mean, I think it's been about a week and a half to where we are today. You know, we started to look and consider moving about 8 or 9 of our events. But after conversation with the mayor and the team, with Deborah Belitsky and the folks at Waterfront, we really were confident that we can make waterfront development work for everything from Kroger's Festival, the GE Appliances Mini Marathon, the L&N Credit Union balloon race that you see the gorgeous balloons here behind us. This is going to be the epicenter and the entertainment hub for the next 2 weeks, with almost 600,000 square feet still under use for us this year. And that is just shy of what we typically use every single year, and it is mind-blowing that that was accomplished. So you could come down here day after day and see something different, from car shows, the mini marathon finish line, the balloon glows, the Ohio Valley Wrestling, Louisville Turner Circus, and so many different things. We really do turn it and churn it every single day. Our Pegasus Playville right behind you, you can see all of the Midway rides, will be a fantastic addition to that every single day. And admission, like no other event in this community, is still just a Pegasus pin. It's the only ticket in town that you buy one time and you can use 10 dozen times if you wanted to. So we hope everybody will come down and join us for each one of these events and really come down and see what the waterfront's all about after the cleanup. It's almost like it did not happen, and we could not be more happy about that. So our ribbon cutting is this Thursday at 11 at the main gate, and we invite everybody to join us. We'd love to have all of our media partners here, where we really kick it off, and you'll see how many people are waiting at the door just to help us celebrate. So the Derby Festival is just getting started, and we appreciate everybody, and happy Derby. And again, thank you, Mayor, for all of this hard work.
Thanks, Matt. Thank you so much, Matt. I want to give a additional shout out to Deborah and her team at Waterfront Park, who have done an amazing job. I know there's work ahead still. I was looking at the northern part of the Great Lawn this morning, but you guys have it, and enjoy the Playport also. That Playport last weekend was full again with kids, and if people haven't visited, that's a great, literally one of the great parks in this country is now in Louisville at Playport on Western Waterfront Park. And speaking of kids and playing this summer season, I'm moving on topics, by the way. I want to talk about the two brand new swimming pools at Algonquin and Camp Taylor Park. Construction on the Algonquin pool is nearly complete, and I'm so excited. We're going to be having a ribbon cutting ceremony next month in order to open that pool once again, this amazing public pool at Algonquin Park, in time for the Memorial Day weekend. Unfortunately, we've experienced construction delays at the Camp Taylor pool, in large part because of the severe weather that started in January with the snow and freezing weather, and now the more severe weather that happened several times this spring, including this last rainfall and flooding. The construction schedule has gotten behind at Camp Taylor, and construction will not be finished in time for this summer. So that means the Camp Taylor pool will not open until next season, the 2026 summer season. I know this is not the news that anyone wanted to hear right before our summer and swim season gets underway. But I want to make sure the entire community is aware of that as soon as we had that information, we provide that to the community. And I also am pleased that we're doing a couple things for Camp Taylor Park and for the Camp Taylor neighbors around that park to address this concern. First, I'm pleased to announce that we are going to make additional permanent improvements to Camp Taylor Park. We're going to make two new investments. We're going to invest in a brand new basketball court and benches surrounding that basketball court, and also a new limestone block fence around the park in place of the current deteriorating fence. Those are permanent improvements that will be made to Camp Taylor Park. Additionally, we'll be taking some of the funding that we budgeted for pool security and operations this summer and put it towards summer activity vouchers for families who live near the park who are expecting to use the pool this summer. And so we're going to get more information on that in the next week or two, but we wanted to let families know that they have not been forgotten, and we are working on these activity vouchers with some great partners that we're excited to announce in the next week or two. So stay tuned for more information on that. And finally, one more update before we open it up to questions from the media. Last Friday, I was thrilled to announce the return of a familiar face to Louisville Metro government. Barbara Sexton Smith is going to be joining the Louisville Free Public Library as the interim executive library director. Barbara and I've had the great fortune to work with Barbara several times over the past couple of decades, most recently as deputy mayor. Barbara is an amazing force. She cares so much about our city. She cares so much about everyone in our city. She has been a champion of the library for decades, and I'm thrilled that she agreed to be the interim executive director during this time of transition as we begin a national search for a new executive director of the Louisville Free Public Library. So please join me in welcoming back to Louisville Metro government the amazing, the one-of-a-kind Barbara Sexton Smith.
All right. Thank you. Well, Mayor, thank you once again for believing in me again. Yes, we have worked many things together and traveled many paths together over several decades. I am by far so excited to be the interim executive director of the Louisville Free Public Library. I'm telling you, I've worn a lot of hats and headbands in my time. And this is going to be one of the most meaningful hats that I will ever get the opportunity to wear. And that's because I'm following in the shoes of our retiring executive director, Lee Birchfield, after 29 years of service. I'm going to have the opportunity to build relationships and work with our Louisville Foundation Board, the Library Commission, the Friends of the Library. I love y'all. I hope you're watching. I remember all the times you came together to Louisville Metro Council when I was representing District 4, which, by the way, I really appreciate that the mayor is making all these exciting announcements right here as a downtown resident in my neighborhood. So thank you so much for that, Mayor. I met already with our senior team at the Louisville Free Public Library. I met with them last week. My first official day will be Monday, April 28th. So I like to say I really am off to the races. Yes, I am. I didn't say off to go to the races. Oh, no. You won't find me there next week. The most important thing I can do next week is I have already scheduled and planned a complete tour of the city by way of stopping and visiting at the 18 incredible branches of the Louisville Free Public Library system. And the reason I'm doing that is because the most important thing and most valuable resource we have are the employees, 307 of them, and we're going to see how many I can meet and connect with just next week. Y'all are welcome to tag along if you want to, and just remember, all roads lead to the library, where we have books for all. Someone called me this morning and said, "You don't know me, but ma'am, I just want to tell you, I'm going to the library to get my happy buzz on." So let's go. Mayor, thank you so very much for believing in me once again.
Thanks, Barbara. Thank you so much, Barbara. And before we get to the Q&A portion, I do want to give a shout out to Eleanor. This is your last weekly press conference with us. I know it has been great having you cover our administration and the city for the past several years. We wish you and your partner nothing but the best in your next chapter, in your next job, personally and professionally. I hope everything is great in Philadelphia and beyond. Thank you very much. Good luck. And you have the honor of the first and last question today. So kick us off, Eleanor. Right. The question was about when did we know that we were not going to make it this season for the Camp Taylor pool opening, and talk a little bit more about the family vouchers that are going to be available for families that have been impacted and expecting this pool to open. First, in terms of when we knew, it became clear that we would not meet our that we would not be able to open this summer just after these last historic floods. And so we met on site mid last week with the pool contractor, with the general contractor. Councilwoman Josie Raymond was with us. Members of the parks team were with us to have a conversation to see if there was any path forward to get the pool open this summer. And it was then that we realized that there was not going to be a path forward because of these most recent weather delays. And so at that point we said, okay, what do we do now? And we knew that we wanted to do something because there were a lot of families that expected this pool to open this summer. And so between then and yesterday, we were able to make the decision and a plan to do the permanent improvements with the basketball court and some surrounding amenities, as well as the fence, which is feedback that we had gotten in the past, are improvements needed at the park. So we're still working on putting all the family vouchers together for families this summer. We've reached out to our partners from when we previously did this, most recently, families impacted by the delay in opening the Algonquin pool. We're reaching out to partners at Kentucky Kingdom, the YMCA, as well as our community centers within Louisville Metro Parks and Recreation, and we're hoping some combination of all of those folks can help provide unique experiences for families this summer. So stay tuned, but we're in conversations with Kentucky Kingdom and YMCA, among others. Yeah. Deborah, do you want to talk about that, or Matt? The question's about the North Great Lawn and what's going to happen with that given the condition. Oh, you've got it? Okay.
Certainly, as you see standing here, that one's still under care, and we're lucky enough to have South Great Lawn, Festival Plaza. So what we've done is instead of expanding north, we've expanded south and are partnering with PMC to take over part of that parking lot to increase to what is pretty close to previous square footage. Almost 600,000 square feet is what we utilize. So letting that rest so that it's here for the rest of the season was the right thing to do, and they're still removing a lot of the debris and power seeding it as well. So the balloon event, yeah, they'll feel a little bit different with the midway behind you and different space. We turn the event venue with our team, Khadijah Hayes and her team, really turn it every single day. So we're building it to maximize the space of the balloons that'll be down here, and it'll have that same feel where it's almost completely covered like you see behind us. So they'll all be fitting, but we won't be overflowing into the North Great Lawn. We'll be in this space that we're in, into Festival Plaza, onto Witherspoon Street, and over into the lot across the street. That's correct. We're not doing much on that side. You'll still be able to see the river, but we're going to let that rest and recover for certain, just so it's here for everybody else later in the season.
To extend the what? Wait, hold on. I didn't hear. I heard the first part. I didn't hear the last part. The question was about there currently is a proposal that was introduced at Metro Council yesterday regarding creating a new industrial revenue bond, a new agreement with Churchill Downs. I'm incredibly supportive of this new initiative to encourage nearly $1 billion of investment in Churchill Downs and in our community. The Kentucky Derby, as we see starting, really a couple of weeks ago, what the Kentucky Derby and Churchill Downs means to this community. It creates jobs, it supports local businesses, it drives our economy. It is so important to our city. And so I'm incredibly supportive of their continued investment in their racetrack, which will keep people coming from all over the world. It will make this even a bigger and more sought after event for people to attend. It's going to generate a lot of new tax revenue for our city, a lot of new revenue for local businesses. And so the impact of this $1 billion investment in Churchill Downs is great for our entire community, and that's why I'm so supportive of that. And it's an inducement for them to make that nearly $1 billion investment. And in terms of and Marcus is asking about, there's a provision where Churchill Downs will still make, while the property will be moved from the tax rolls, they will still be making what are called pilot payments, payments in lieu of taxes. Those payments will be going to Louisville Metro government, and they will not be going to Jefferson County Public Schools. I think the theory there is that Louisville Metro government provides a lot of services to Churchill Downs in the neighborhood. There are no residential units, so there won't be any additional children going to the school system, and so that's part of the reason behind that feature of it. The question was, did JCPS know that before it was filed yesterday? I don't know the answer to that question. Roberto? Say that again, I'm sorry. We've been talking with Churchill Downs for several months about having a new agreement like this. And yes, members of my economic development team have been involved in negotiating the details. There have also been a lot of conversations with Louisville Metro Council as well before it was filed yesterday. The question is what, basically, why are we doing this? The reason why we're doing this is because Churchill Downs having $1 billion investment in one of our signature attractions and local businesses here in the community is transformative. It will continue not just to elevate the Kentucky Derby, but everything that Churchill Downs does. It will create jobs. It will create all sorts of other tax revenues. It will support local businesses. It will help the neighborhood surrounding Churchill Downs. And so there are so many benefits that this investment has that I believe it is a great agreement for the city. It's a great agreement for Louisville Metro government to support this $1 billion investment in this way. The question is, what ramifications might this have on JCPS? I don't think this will have any ramifications on JCPS. I think just as for many years, Louisville Metro government has provided incentives and foregone certain tax revenues so that a project can be developed, so that new jobs can be created, that neighborhoods can be improved. I think it's a long-term win for the city. And here I think it's a long-term win for JCPS as well. New jobs are going to be created. Those individuals will be buying homes. They will help increase other property tax values that will go up surrounding Churchill Downs across this entire city. And so I don't think there's any, I think there are only winners in this agreement. Yes. Yeah. What I would say to folks that have concerns about this proposal, I would say Churchill Downs is investing $1 billion in our community. That is going to create a significant number of jobs. That is going to create a significant amount of new revenue for other local businesses. That's going to help in so many other ways that I believe this is an important incentive to generate that type of investment in our community and in the future of Louisville. This is an investment that is going to pay off for decades for our community as the Derby continues to be enhanced in stature as a worldwide event and as other things happen at Churchill Downs. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. Yeah, can you speak louder? There was a question recently on Sunday. There was an officer-involved shooting on Arterburn Street. That's still under investigation, but I can tell you what I know about that at this point in time is that our LMPD was called to a run about a suspected break-in and a concern about an individual. Two officers who have been longtime officers of LMPD approached the individual, gave very clear direction to not move, to not touch the knife that was clearly visible in his pocket. He approached them. The police went to arrest him during that attempt to get the individual handcuffed. He grabbed the knife. He stabbed at an officer and was ultimately shot. I have reviewed I've seen the body cam footage that will be released within the 10 days as we always do. It's anytime something like this happens, it's an unfortunate event. It's unfortunate that individuals are, wielding weapons against officers. There was clear direction given as to what to do, and then that was not heeded at this particular moment. Wait, Eleanor gets the last question. I'm sure you got one more. The question is, who am I going to bet on for Derby? I've been started paying attention to this year's field. I've been focused on floods, getting ready for my budget address on Thursday. So I got to admit, I've not yet paid too close of attention to the Derby field. I will be ready by next week. Is that a Derby horse? That sounds good. I'll put $2 on it for you, Eleanor. Have a great day.